What's up, world? Today we're going to be reviewing some headset mics. If you're like me, sometimes you do live events and a headset mic would come in handy. It's not my ideal mic, it's not my preferred mic. I would much rather have a boom. In this particular case, I'm using an H5 just as a base mic. But in some live event settings where I'm working with talent and it's a noisy environment, headset mics are key and they're super helpful. So today we are going to be reviewing 6 different microphones. Some from the same manufacturer, some with 2 ears, some with 1 ear cuff. If you don't know already, there is one mic that rules them all. It's pretty expensive, it's over $500. So I'm essentially trying to find an alternative because I need to buy 6 of these mics. I don't want to spend $3,000 buying 6 different types of mics. These range between $50 roughly and $200. So we're going to kind of put them head to head, hear the different ones in this quieter studio type environment. And then we're going to head over to a noisy area and try to test these in a real noisy environment to see which one of these sound the best, feel the most comfortable, seem like they're made with high quality materials, and then they can last long. And then, of course, we'll try an EQ to balance them all out. And, of course, we also have to see how they do in a noisy environment. So let's test them out. First thing I'm going to do is just lay all these out. And I can already show you. Woo. So as you can see right away, these two are going to be the same brand, these two are the same brand, and these two are different brands. These are both ears. One of these is 2 and one of these is 1 ear, and then a single ear, and then a dual ear. I'm leaning towards the double ear setup because I think it's going to hold on tighter. We have a single ear at my church, and people mess with it, they get finicky about it, and so I figured the dual ear will hold a lot better, so we'll see how that stacks up when it's on someone's face and to see how it actually does. So let's go one by one and talk about what each of the features are for these microphones. I'm going to go ahead and put a clear label on these two with the sticky note, that way I don't get confused of which mic is which, and it's really clear since there's so many of these, I can easily get them confused. So let's do it. So here's the start, guys. We got them all laid out. HSM3, HSM8, HS10, HSO9. I guess I could switch these because I'm OCD. So 9 and 10, AVL630, and Mic J. So out of all these mics, they are different prices, like I said, between $50 and $200. I'm not basing my bias off the price. I don't remember what costs what, but you will see it on the screen. So when I'm talking about these different microphones, I don't know which one's more expensive or which one's cheaper. I just want to test them thoroughly and just get a clear, honest review without worrying about the number. Because at the end of the day, I am willing to spend $200 for 6 mics. Or if I can get away with spending $50 per mic, I'm going to do that too. I just want the mic that fits the best and makes the most sense. Let's start with the brothers here, the HSM3 and HSM8. So I'm going to put the rest of these off to the side in the background here. So let's start with the 3 and then go to the 8s. My best guess is that the 3 is cheaper. I don't know. But, you know, you would figure that the higher number would be better. So, yeah, some features on the box, as you can see. Hopefully you can read that. I'll take a high quality picture of this so it's easier to read and see. Okay, so this is a lightweight omnidirectional microphone headset. So this is going to be a pickup pattern that picks up all of the noise around the individual. And so I guess one of the cool things about Galaxy Audio is it comes with 4 free cables. In my case, I wish I would have asked for all of the same cable. If I'm going to keep this microphone, I'll probably contact the manufacturer and talk to them about that, because I don't need all the other brands. I use a Shure wireless headset system, and so for my particular use, I'm going to want just the one cable. If you are a speaker who uses different systems and uses different wireless microphone cords to plug into the different transmitters, that could be something you can look into. That's what this comes in by default, but I wish I would have. It looks like on this checkbox here on the side there is the ability to just go with the Shures, so I would have done that. That way I have 4 backups of the same microphone cable. So let's bust her open. Really nice Pro case here. I mean, it's little, it's like the rubber with some padding on the inside, so it'll do okay. I mean, it's not a road case, but it's It's something. So, all right, so we fold this out, we lift this up, and we see right away, we put this HSM3 box here. We've got our 1, 2, 3, 4 cables, all the different types. I'm just going to care about the Shure cable for now. And this is the headset. Now, because I am going to be returning the ones I don't keep, I'm going to be very careful about this packaging and trying to put it all back together. What do we have here? The registration card, if you care to do that with their warranty that's offered. It's limited warranty, it looks like. They're also showing off their ESM3, which is their single ear. HSM3 is their dual ear. So I have the HSM3 and the HSM8 that I'm comparing. Some instructions about how to adjust the headset, the frequency response. So I'm going to go ahead and take a picture of that to kind of show you the stats too. So one thing we'll notice right away is the ESM3 and the HSM3 have the same microphone. The reason why we know this is because they show the same exact chart, the omnidirectional chart. So if you think you can get away with a single ear, we'll see. In this particular case, I am primarily focused on the dual ear, but I do have a couple single ears that I'm testing out as well. So yeah, that's this. I'm going to go ahead and set this aside. HSM3 label. I'm going to go ahead for now, find my Shure. It's the 4-prong, which is the Shure, so I'm going to put the rest of these back for now and carefully put this case off to the side. HSM3. Okay, so now we've got the 2 microphones in their bags here. Let's go ahead and open up the headset. I don't know about you, but when stuff comes in plastic bags, the plastic bags don't really last for me. I'm carefully pulling out this headset. Here it is, guys. It is super, super lightweight, super flexible. The head is obviously bigger, and they have this kind of like rubber grommet at the tip, which will kind of help catch your windscreen if you want that. So already we can see the adjustment points here. You can essentially slide this whole piece. Let me see, yes, forward and back to adjust. As this shrinks and grows, it'll adjust the microphone at your face. There it goes. And then there's probably... So then we have 2 little mic clips back here at the back. These 2 little mic clips will be for the cable that plugs in. And then you have the ones that go around your ear. So it looks like it's set up as a lefty right off the gate. And I'm pretty sure... I guess I'll look at the instructions to see if we can flip this to be on the right side if need be. But let me just go ahead and try this on for the first time here. Woohoo. Okay. And there it is. It pushes right up against my face just out of the box, so we can kind of adjust that as needed. Bang it around. Now this first test I'm just doing for feel. I have one of those little clips pushing into my head, so I don't have it plugged in yet. Just to let you know, I do have it on my face just to see how it feels. And you can see it fits nice and snug against my face. Right around the ears. These are not squishy. They're like a hard rubber. And as it sits, these little clips actually push into my head a little bit. As I pull them off the back of my head there, they kind of readjust, and they don't hurt as much. But I'm sure once I have the, hopefully there'll be a difference when I actually plug in the cable itself. So I actually don't like it resting right up against my chin, so I'm going to kind of leverage it off me a little bit. But I'm also not used to wearing a mic like this, right? I'm a tech, I'm not really a performer. So there it is, it's on my face. Hopefully it's pretty low profile. You can already see on the front of my ears that's going to stick out a lot as far as those hooks go. So it is going to be obvious that somebody's wearing this microphone. So if that's one of your stipulations you're trying to see is low-key profile, we can look at that compared to the other ones and see how it does. This is not going anywhere. I know I look like an idiot right now, but this is staying on my face. That's one of the major perks of this mic. I do feel like it's gripping the full head, my full head. It doesn't hurt. It just feels like it's snugly against me. And so, yeah, just the initial out of the box test, it feels actually not too bad. I don't know how much the microphone costs. Again, I'm trying to do this blindly. So if you are needing the windscreen, this obviously would help when it's windy. It does make the microphone larger. So let's go ahead and add that to show you what that looks like. So I just carefully look for the hole, rotate it on, and that's what it looks like with that. While we're here, let's go ahead and just bust this cable out. So their wrap method was just a loop on this guy. So here's the cable. It's long enough to go down a shirt to a mic pack. Let me grab a tape measure and I'll tell you exactly how long it is. So this cable is right at about 4 feet. So we'll take this headset. This one actually threads in. Let me give you a good close-up here. I'm going to just connect the two, give it a little twist. I'm going to go ahead and drop this mic around my back since I'm not hooking it up into anything. So you can undersling it like this, and I wonder if you can do it over like this. I might look dumb, but let me go ahead and clip in these cables here. Gently pushing in these cables into these clips. All right. Yeah. So it doesn't really go in this direction. You want to have it so the hooks are facing up. Let's try that again. And it's pretty solid. Feels good. Same spot. You got the windscreen if you need it. It obviously makes it look a lot bigger with the windscreen, but it is what it is. So as far as the cable, as you can see, hooks around. I could probably make this fit a little snugger around my ear depending on the person. And the cable tie connection is right there. Right there. And then the microphone goes through, as you can see on that side. So if you wanted to, you could probably form fit this around your ear a little tighter, depending on how, if it's just used for you, or if you're using it for multiple people. But again, I could shake my head pretty well, move around. If I was the dancer, singer, performer, this is definitely going to stay on the head pretty well. So, all right, I'm going to put this one aside, leave the label on it, and we're going to move on to the HSM8. One thing I forgot to mention about the HSM3, the cable itself does feel like a rubbery. I don't know if you've bought cheap and expensive XLRs before. It feels closer to the cheaper XLR cables that you would get, the coating that you would get. So that, I don't know if they already know one of their major flaws with this microphone is the cable, but they're sending 4 cables with it. So that's a plus and a minus. It's a plus because they're paying attention and they're making sure that their stuff's covered, but it's a minus in the sense of like they may already know that's the key point of failure is these cables if they're going to send you 4 in the same box. So, okay, let's set this one aside. HSM3. I'm going to move this box out of the way. And let's move to the HSM8. So same box, same coating here. I'm going to flip this up and do the same release. Here's the microphone. I only care about the cable that I need. All right, so here's a note. Microphone identification, HSM-U is unidirectional, whereas HSM-8-O is omnidirectional. So omnidirectional versus unidirectional, the shape of the microphone is different too. So that's something worth noting, that if you want the unidirectional, which is more specific, right, the microphone pattern is going to be tighter, so there's going to be less background noise. That's going to be better. The omnidirectional one is actually the one I have, so I would probably prefer the unidirectional one. The difference is the unidirectional one has a fatter microphone head, so it's give or take. Would you rather have more sound isolation and a bigger microphone so it's more obvious, or would you rather make sure that you have audio only coming from the source that you want? So that's the difference. This one out of the box has a 1-year limited warranty. I don't think the other one had one. The pickup pattern is also different. So the ESM, there is an HSM8 and an ESM8. So those microphones are the same. The pickup pattern is the same. The difference between H and E is H is both both sides, both ears, and E is one. It also gives you some information about the frequency range and that kind of stuff. And there is a separate frequency chart for each of the two omni versus unidirectional headsets. So it also tells you the element diameter. For the omnidirectional, it's 3.5 mil versus uni, which is 7 mil. So the unidirectional is going to be twice as big as far as that size goes. Right away, we can tell that there's two different microphones here. The pickup pattern's different. There's a different chart. So that's going to be a giveaway. There's also a 1-year warranty listed on this device. Let me go back and look at the HSM3. I don't remember seeing if this was also a 1-year. So the HSM3 and the HSM8 have a 1-year warranty. Let's get into connecting this microphone and trying it out, and then we'll also compare it side by side with its younger brother. So right away, this is even thinner of a setup. This one feels like raw painted metal, whereas the other one felt like there was some sort of rubbery coating on the outside. So this one feels like it's going to be a little more stout because it is metal. Let me go ahead and pull it all out and get it all set up. To be honest, I'm gonna show you what it looks like with the windscreen on it, but I'm gonna go ahead and take the windscreens off both microphones to kind of compare them directly to show you the difference. Now this one actually has a clip that comes with it, a fabric clip, so this would clip on the back of your shirt, that kind of thing. It wasn't in the HSM3, but it was in the HSM8. This has a similar threading pattern. It looks like this might be a larger threading setup, and the cable looks to be the exact same. Let me grab this other cable and see how it matches up here. So this is me taking apart the HSM3. That way we can look at these cables and see they are pretty much identical. I'm gonna go ahead and just try to connect. I'm feeling the material. The color is slightly different between the two of these, so I guess maybe the grade of cable might be different. But in this case, the HSM3 is more pinkish, whereas the HSM8 feels more tan or more yellow even. So I'm gonna see if the HSM3 cable will connect to the HSM8, and it does. So this will thread into the HSM8, so those cables are interchangeable. Okay, back to the HSM8. We're gonna go ahead and get this cable all prepped. Take off these little hoops. Okay, so we're gonna screw in the cable here, just like we did with the HSM3. The cable is also going to be 48 inches. The clips are a little different for this headset. There's one that's already on connecting the microphone itself to the ear hooks. And then there's one more hook for this one, which I will slide on. There it goes. It is quite a delicate cable. Okay. So out of the box, these are both left side hanging. And so this one looks like it's a little bit easier to just unclip the clips right here. These two clips to essentially flip it to go on your right side. The metal on this seems to be a little bit better, a little bit higher quality. The microphone is about the same size. So, but again, the bonus you get for this one is you get this little gator fabric clip. So now that we have all this, let's go ahead and try it on. If I can figure out how it goes here. And for now, I'm gonna, since I have that fabric clip, I'm gonna go ahead and just clip it to the back of my collar here. Miking yourself up by yourself is not always the easiest task here. Okay. Alright, so we got this microphone on. We finally got it in place here. The boom is a little longer, so I'm going to try to snake that in. It's supposed to hit like the corner of your smile. Check, check, check. This one takes a little bit more shaping for me. I mean, everybody's got a different sized head and stuff. The brim of this one doesn't seem to be as wide as the other one. So, this one fits, but I need to kind of shape it around my ears a little bit better to make it feel better. I guess because the wire's thinner, it actually is less comfortable. So that's kind of surprising that the higher number, which I would believe is more expensive, is less comfortable just right off the bat. I'm sure once I play with this and adjust it, I'll kind of dial it all in and see how it feels. So it's, yeah, you see how this little corner, it doesn't quite get to my ear. So that's the same on both sides. So I feel like this one device should be able to spread out more to hit both my ears, but it's not. So it feels like it's actually not quite wide enough to get around my whole head. So in this particular case, so far I preferred this other mic. Now, I'm looking back at the HSM3, and it looks like the width of the U that I was just describing, like because I want it to be longer, there's no adjustment on this one either. So depending on your head, you might prefer the HSM8 over the HSM3 depending on the width of your head and how you have that set up. So this clip is actually not doing much. It's actually kind of a pain in the butt. So I may not even use that for now. I just can't get it wide enough to sit on my head properly. So as described, this U shape here is just narrower. Let's see how it physically compares to the HSM3. If I'm putting this side evenly, jeez, I suck at this. You can see on this side, that little incremental difference, that little ½ inch, to me, made a difference for my head. So if there was a way to adjust that, that would be awesome. But out of comfortability, the thinner, higher number one isn't as comfortable as the thicker, bigger one, HSM3. So far out of comfortability, HSM3 wins for my particular setup. So I told you I was going to show you what it looks like with the windscreen on, so let's go ahead and put that on. This one feels more fine, so it might be a little bit harder to get on. Definitely took a little bit of effort. Let's go ahead and try this on. And I am bending this metal a little bit to try to give me a little bit more clearance. There we go. So now you can see I'm going to go ahead and put a side-by-side of this microphone compared to the HSM3. And you'll see the differences there. I mean, the look of the mic is honestly about the same. It is slightly smaller, but you're wearing a headset. You still see it on the ears. Those kind of curve around your ears. There's no getting away from that style. The rubber on both of these, actually they are slightly different. This one feels like it's softer rubber compared to the other one, which feels like more of a hard rubber for some reason. So anyways, let's try this mic. Feel of it, you see it. Let's jump over to the other one. And again, I mean, I actually still prefer the feel of this HSM3 over the HSM8. I'm going to go ahead and pull the windscreens off so you can see the difference between the two. because in my particular case, I am not going to go with the windscreen. I'm not going to be in a windy environment. I am going to be in a noisy environment, but the difference there is minimal, and so this would help kind of hide it a little bit better. Again, both headsets, they're not coming off. They feel good. So that's the 3. And here's the 8 one more time. I am going to pull off the windscreen here, which was a pain in the butt to get going, but hey, it is what it is. Putting that back in the box. So there probably is a minor difference between the two, of this one feeling smaller, more compact. But at the end of the day, we just got to hear the difference and see which one sounds better. Maybe this HSM8 is leaps and bounds better. It still is pretty comfortable. I mean, it doesn't quite reach for me. That would be my biggest complaint, but I could kind of force the metal and bend the metal to make it fit as needed. So this is the HSM8, guys. I'm going to go ahead and set this aside, put the box away, damage all my equipment when I'm taking all this stuff off, or try not to at least. Cool. Because I'm not worried about the windscreens from now on, I'm going to put the other windscreen for the HSM3 back in the case. So that was the HSM8. I'll try to keep these pretty well organized. Oops. With my labels. All right, y'all. Last one is the Mic J. So the Mic J, there's one little problem that I already have with it, is the casing. So there's some kind of gunk on it, and it just looks like it's from China. So to me, I'm a little precautious of this one, especially for professional use and it holding up. JK is some of the branding here. This Mic J, JK. You can already tell that this is a cheaper headset based off the packaging and the issues that have come up. At least that would be my guess, not looking at the numbers, right? So I'm going to go ahead and open this. Now, because I'm probably going to return this, I'm going to carefully get this opened. I think I could figure out how to get that back on, or I could just add a new staple. One of the two. Set that aside. So try not to let the gunk affect the way I review this thing. All right. There's no frequency chart on this. It's just an image. It does come with an extra windscreen if that's important to you. And another one of our twist cables. The saving grace, however, is it looks like the headset itself is very, very similar to the HSM3. It looks like just different packaging. The boom itself is adjustable, and the ears look like they would form fit around your ear. It does have 2 hooks in the back as well, and then it's the same threading type as the other headsets. This would be interchangeable. That's the one thing we're noticing about these headsets, is all of these cables are interchangeable. So I would suggest, if one of these sounds better than the rest of these, buy a couple HSM3s, which come with 4 extra cables of your type, and then you'll have 4 extra cables plus a spare microphone, depending on the quality of that microphone. So the pickup pattern, the size of the mic's a little different on this one. It's kind of in between the HSM8 and the HSM3, and the rest of them are singles. So this is be 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah. So far we have 4 single headsets with the 2 HS10s, and then we have 3 dual ears. So I'm going to try this on and see how it feels, get it adjusted to my head. So that's one major advantage of the dual ear. 2 is the boom on each one of these. The boom could be adjusted on all 3 of these double headsets. The ear cuffs can form fit around your ear, and the microphone boom, like I said, can boom. And so each one of these heads are a slightly different size. The HSM3, HSM8, and the Mic J. So just a quick comparison versus the 3 microphones as far as their boom sizes go. Hopefully you can see these well enough here. This smallest one here is the HSM8. This middle one here is the Mic J, and the biggest one is the HSM3. Now, I don't know how that's going to affect performance for each of these mics, but that is something to consider if you're worried about the size of the head. The HSM8 is the smallest one out of those. The wire itself, it looks like, honestly, they are all super, super similar. The HSM8 is the smallest one out of those, and then the Mic J and the HSM3 are very similar. And now I've got a jumbled mess of cable while my buddy's calling me. Okay, HSM3, HSM8. For dexterity's sake, I am going to test this microphone cable with the rest of these, and I think the HS10 might be a closest color fit. Maybe the HSM3. Alright, y'all. Time to bust this cable out, get it set up. And there you have it, folks, with the wire. This is movable. I'm going to shrink this back a little bit. Comfortability, all of these mics feel very similar. They're made out of the same kind of materials. It's a mixture of like rubberized rubber and some metal as the core. And they fit well, they fit comfortably. I don't think I'm going to have any issues deciding between the three mics on comfortability as far as the double ears go. Again, I've said this already, single-eared ones I don't like as much because they don't stay on your head as well. So obviously you can form fit them and get them to stay, but you have to actually work with them to get them to fit. These, right out of the box, just went on my head. They felt like they gripped. They felt like they were ready to go. For all of these fabric clips, I'm not going to worry about for the windscreens. I'm not going to worry about for a test because honestly, they are all about the same quality and type. The cables are all very similar, so that's another thing to point out. Across all 7 of these microphones, the 4 single ear and the 3 dual ear, the cables are pretty much all the same. The only one that may not be the same is the one that had the shrink wrap around the cable that prevented you from messing with the cable itself.